Morning, kids. How are you? Welcome to Hancock Shaker Village. I'm Bill Mangiardi. I'm Director of Farm Facility. You kids can all call me Farmer Billy. So, I know you're missing the animals, but truly, I'm missing you guys. I really like seeing a bunch of strollers out in front of the round barn. And these little guys, you all get to enjoy them and the excitement that the kids get to see. And it's not every day you get to see things like this. So hopefully we can give you a little joy, bring these little guys to you, and every week we'll be showing a different animal. Today we're gonna focus on sheep. This is a little lamb, about 3 weeks old, and he's a merino, and it's a little boy. He's got little nubs coming here, and he's getting very restless. His mom is right here. She's a pure merino, and he has some thin in her. So merino is the best, the finest wool, and this little guy's a wrinkly merino. And you know, the tighter, you see how he was struggling? The tighter you hold any animal, the more they'll struggle. If you relax, they'll relax. So Jennifer just showed you a chicken, but you can hear her. Look down there and why she's making all that racket.
A beautiful egg.
She just laid an egg,
Thank
and that's
you,
nice
Chicky.
and warm. You can leave it there for now. Now that's fresh. Now this is a merino, and this is the finest wool you can have. This is a wrinkly merino. The Shakers always liked these wrinklies because they thought there was more wool on them, and they were correct. But the modern way of shearing them, you have to keep them very taut. And it took too long to shear them, so the breeders have bred them out. Hey. So this guy's pretty cool. And when I feel this on here is lanolin. There's a lot of lanolin on a sheep. And they spin that out in the centrifuge, and you end up with the beautiful wool. The lanolin, there you go, is used for many different things. It's in all you ladies' makeup. So actually, it's a natural antiseptic. I always know when I handle too many sheep, the water beads up on me. It's also waterproof. After you shear the sheep, the oil seals them. Now they'll be hopefully sheared when we open, and I hope that's soon, folks, so you guys can enjoy it. But if it's not, we have to shear them anyways. It's essential that you shear a sheep once a year. If you shear the sheep, they're all nice and low. No parasites can get in, lay any eggs. It can actually be harmful for them. They won't shed. We bred sheep over the years produce a lot of wool because we need it. They certainly don't. So it'll keep growing. You know, they'll actually look like a big chia pet if you let them go. There'll be a weak spot in every year, so you couldn't really spin that wool, but they have to be sheared. Wild sheep shed naturally, but we bred that out of them. Now this guy here, he's a little ram, and he wants to make sure he's boss already.
Billy.
One little cute thing over here is, in this line of merinos, for some reason, ever since I've been here, we've had a little brown spot every now and then appear. So this one here just come out with a beautiful little brown leg. Now that's a natural color, and if the whole sheep was like that, it's very sought after today because it's called natural colored wool. And as you see over here,
Say hi to Lila Burley.
how you doing, kids? So this one right here, hi, Lila, you know what I'm talking about, don't you, dear? So this one right here is a black merino. Now, you know, over the years, in the early 1800s, they called all the black sheep off because if you had white sheep, you could dye your wool any color. If you had black sheep, you were stuck with the black, so they didn't need them. But they always kept one, and they called it the marker sheep. For every 300 sheep, they put a black one in, and that would be, they know that flock had 300. And if you saw two, there was 6, 3, 9, so on. So this black has a white hue. Actually, the little ram.
Can you tell the difference? Billy, between a ewe and a ram?
Yes, I can tell the difference.
No, would you tell them?
Yes.
A ewe is a
A
female.
ewe is a little female, and a ram is a little male. So you have a ram lamb, or you have a little ewe lamb. You kids know what I'm talking about? You? I'm sure you do. So this one here is the one that I did during Easter that the mom didn't want. As you can see, we persuaded her to want it. We took it away, and then she realized what she had. This one also needed a little bit of a help. His eyelid was deformed, and I had to kind of stitch it open a little bit, but next thing you know, he's seeing beautiful.
Billy, what are the
Brilliant.
marks on the noses?
Just so we know, Allison must have treated that one or marked it to know which one she's doing something with. I didn't talk to her this morning why she marked it,
Like
but there was a
medicine.
reason. It's called a paint stick, and it's just to distinguish them from each one. So she had marked them all, and I'm sure she has a good reason to do that. When we put the other ones in outside, they have different tags. Some of these don't have tags.
Now, how long will the babies nurse from the mothers?
Oh, they'll nurse for about 6, 8 weeks. And then the mom kind of gets, the milk kind of decreases, and they'll get a little drink here and there, but it's essential that they get it, especially early. When a little lamb's born, he has to, or any mammal, they have to get that colostrum as soon as possible. I've been up last few nights because I had that issue of lambing, and I want to make sure they all get it, and some do and some don't. And seeing that this is baby animals, let's just tell you how everything I'd like to see born, kids. Because everything has to come out right, right? So how we like to see things is when you come in here and you look and you see these little feet pointing up, well, you know everything's gonna be okay because that little nose is coming out next. So they come out like so, very slowly. And once they get so far, they break the umbilical cord and they have to start breathing. And it's important that the mom gets them out and licks all the fluids off. And sometimes, you know, they come out breech. And mom might need a little help. But a real quick sign to say that is the feet are pointing down. That's the first thing you're going to see, just what you see right there. And then the tail comes out, and that's head's inside so they can't breathe, so you want to get that out pretty fast. Sometimes they come out with just the tail, called the true breech. And that needs to be pushed back in a little bit, unlock one leg, unlock the other. You don't want to stay still, do you?
How many lambs have you given birth to?
Oh, God, I don't know. I don't keep track. That's like asking a teacher how many students you had. Same thing. And I don't name them, my staff does. And unlike the teachers, you guys remember a whole classroom. I tend just to call everybody a little baby or sweetheart or whatever they tend to be. My staff names them. One of the most often questions we get asked here at Hancock Shaker Village during baby animals is, what's their name and how old are they? We get that from almost every child. So at the point, most of these are a month and younger. I time everything to come out during baby animals. A sheep takes 5 months. A goat, which we have right here, and I'll do those next week. And she's due. Had her baby yet. As you can see, she's very, very filled up here. Hopefully, we've been waiting for her, and hopefully she'll be in soon. So a goat takes 5 months, a sheep takes 5 months, a pig takes, we'll get into all that next in a couple weeks. Because every week we're going to do something different, and I hope you enjoy that. So if you guys got any questions, you make sure you get them to us, and I'll answer anything I can, and I'm sure I could. this time of social distancing, you probably are get out walking around with your parents or your folks are walking around. And if you're in the woods and you come across a stone wall, well, you go, geez, what's this stone wall doing in the middle of the woods? Well, years ago, there was a pasture there. All these mountains the trees were cut. They used the lumber in the woolen mills. They used the lumber to build houses. They grazed the fields after, and they cleared the fields of stone and made stone walls. And that's how they kept the sheep in. Sometimes you come across a stone wall, and it's really, really low, and you go, how could that keep anything in? Well, one thing, it settled over the years, because it was quite a long time ago. But another reason is the first sheep here in the New England and the United States, some of the most popular sheep were the otter sheep. And the otter sheep just had these little short legs, so you didn't need much of a fence to keep them in. So a little stone wall was all you needed. Problem was, it took them too long to get the sheep to market because there was no transportation back then other than horseback and train. You had to get the animals to the stockyard. That they lost too much weight with those little legs and it took too long. So they bred sheep with longer legs or had different breeds with longer legs.
Billy, how old are the sheep, the little babies over there in the corner?
Those were the least ones born. There's a set of twins. They're not triplets. There's a set of twins there, and they're probably 2 weeks old. They were the last set born the other day last week. Now everything's back in. When something's being born, we have little pens that we put them in. They're called lambing pens. Or goat pen or kidding pen, whatever you have in there at that time. It's essential that you keep something close and inside so you know where it is. You don't want it out in the field. You don't want it in a flock. The baby gets confused. The mother gets confused. I mean, she knows what's going on, but sometimes it gets a little mixed up, so you kind of want to keep them separate. That way you can check on them, have a heat lamp on if it's a cold night like it was last night. They have time to bond. Once they bond, we could easily put them all in together here. They start mixing them up. You know, one funny thing is, after we shear them, the baby doesn't know who the ma is. The ma knows who the baby is, but the baby takes a while for her to figure it out. It's all that smell. Now, I've had lambs over the years that they were orphaned, or the mother didn't want them, or rejected, or whatever you want to call it. And I had raised them, and that takes every 3 hours. I have one at home now that I'm doing. Every 3-4 hours, they start crying. They need a bottle or part of a bottle. And as they get older, they take more. But those lambs bond with you. They bond with my voice. When I walk in, I talk to them. They know what's going on. They follow me just like they would follow the mother. Some of you kids that come over the year to baby animals probably see me walking around with a little lamb behind me. Now, I want to give thanks to you guys because, you know, over the years, baby animals has grown to such a kind of life of its own for a couple reasons. One thing, they're cute. The other thing, it's something that you don't get to see often, and all you folks come in year after year and actually made it tradition. That was very humbling, and it's proved out to be the signature event for Hancock Shaker Village, which I am proud of. So I hope you enjoyed that, folks, and I'll see you all next week. We're going to do the ghosts. You have a good day.